One of the questions that I get is, what is the in search of wealth process? So typically when we first start talking, I map out 7 phone calls that we're going to do in order to get you to a point where you have a solid plan and a strategy to achieve that goal. The process usually works with an introductory call where we get to know each other a little bit and learn more about the process while I learn more about you, your business, and your goals. On the second call, we do a deep dive into your persona and wealth worksheets. And you saw me looking down, so you know I've got notes in front of me. I might as well not try to hide it. To make sure that they're completely filled out and that we are comfortable, you most assuredly are comfortable with what you put on there. Then in the third phone call, we're going to map out your persona for success. So really what that means is that we're going to look at what traits you have that fall outside of your persona and whether or not they require an adjustment to how you're operating on a day-to-day basis in order for you to be successful. Then on the fourth call, we're going to actually set in stone that wealth goal. And the reason for taking a couple phone calls is I've found in most cases that the first attempt that people make at filling out this document, it needs to be tweaked a little bit. And typically it's because of short-term thinking versus long-term thinking, which is something I cover in another video on the page. But defining that and finding that you feel comfortable with, yes, this is the plan, is a really important step in this entire process. Once we have that, then we're going to create your strategy to help you reach that goal. And we're going to do that built around your one thing, which is something that I talk about a lot. I often find that while people are setting these goals, that they start to bring in all of these outside sources of income that don't actually exist today. And it creates sort of a false sense of hope that you'll be able to reach the goal. So we're going to take your goal and now we're going to build the strategy around your one thing and what you're doing today so that we can understand where we are and how close we're going to be to that goal based on the actions that we take now. The sixth call is called closing the gap. The reason for this is that it's very rare for someone to come on and say, hey, here's my goal, here's what I'm doing, here's how I'm going to reach that goal, and all the numbers perfectly line up. If that was the case, this training probably wouldn't be needed. So in closing the gap, we're going to create that underlying strategy that's going to help you achieve your goal based on what you're doing today. And then we're going to figure out what the difference is between what you're doing today and what you're going to need to do in the future. And that gap, we're going to outline that separately so that we can monitor how successful we are with closing the gap while letting the underlying strategy always be in place. Then on the seventh call, we are going to go into planning through the goal. Often short-term thinking is kind of a culprit into not realizing that this is, okay, so you want to make this much money by this date. Okay, then what? What are you going to do after that? And I really push people to define it, like actually write out your day. Where do you live? What are your daily activities? What's your family like? Like really thinking through all of those parts, not just I want freedom. The problem is everybody wants freedom. Well, most people want freedom, everyone that I know. But most people can't define what it is. So you have to write out. And traveling, again, that's not it. Okay, when I am 55, I'm going to have X number of dollars in the bank. I'm going to have this many kids. The college is paid for, the house is paid for. And you know what? I want to spend 12 months on the road visiting 25 countries. That's a little bit more defined. It's something tangible, something that you can actually outline, you can plan for, you can budget for. Those are the types of things that we do in planning through your goal. Now, once you've gone through all 7 of these steps, whether it takes 7 phone calls, it takes 5, it takes 20. After that, we'll talk about an invitation into the In Search of Wealth Mastermind, where we work together on an ongoing basis in order to help you achieve these goals and really to find an accountability partner that's going to make sure that you're following through on both your underlying and your gap strategies in order to reach the level of wealth that you have outlined that you desire. If you have any questions about this, feel free to watch the other videos on the page or schedule a call so we can chat a little bit more. I am here to help you while in your search for wealth. And have a good day.